Okay, this is my week 10 JavaScript and DOM manipulation project. I created a table where people could use the forms I created and the button I created to add things to that table. While I was working on this, my son walked up and handed me a plastic gorilla. So I went with animals, the type of animals, and the environment. Just wanted to keep it really simple so that I could focus on what we were working on this week and not getting too caught up in like stylizing it. So I started in my index or my HTML, my index.html file. I connected my bootstrap for my styling up here. Then I created a new div with the class table responsive because I saw that done somewhere. So that it would respond to the size of the page. Then I have my table here and I stylized it with Bootstrap with my class here, and then I created an ID so that I would be able to use JavaScript to when I use JavaScript to manipulate the DOM. I wanted to be able to call it by an ID because that was the simplest way to me. So then I have the head. These are all in columns. I have animal, type, and environment. And then I have my first two entries there. And then I put these forms all into a card, kind of like what he did in the videos for this week, the instructional videos, because I didn't like the way it looked without it. They all looked really separate and they lined up weird. So created a card. I put my first entry in a row, made it a small column, gave it a class so that it would be easy for me to reference. The label is new animal because it's my new animal. And then this is my form here. So it's a text form. The ID is new animal, and then I have my placeholder. And then I do the same thing with my new animal type and new animal home. And then I created my button down here and gave it the ID of add. And then stylized it here with Bootstrap. Then coming to my JavaScript, I kept it pretty simple. So I created a button and a table so that I could just work with this in JavaScript. Document.getElement by ID add. So here I'm referencing the button that I made, and I'm referencing the table I made in my HTML file. And now that I have those defined, I can use them again here in my JavaScript. Then I create new variables down here and I define them using the ID that I gave them on my HTML file. And then here is where I create, I use the method. I don't create it. I use the add event listener. So when somebody clicks on the button, I'm using this anonymous function to put the values that were placed in the forms on my HTML. I'm using those values, adding them to the variable that I created here on my JavaScript page, and then adding it to my table. So my template is me referencing my table because I have animal here that I defined, type, and home. So this is stylizing them as a table and adding them to that table. And then I have my table.innerHTML. I saw this in a video. I don't know if it was totally necessary, but it worked and I wasn't going to mess with it. So just to show that it works, can come here and let's say my new animal is dog. It's a mammal and it lives in a house. And it shows up. I'm very proud of it. Yeah, so that is my week 10 project.